Hi, good evening and welcome. Thank you so much for joining us. We're excited to have you here at the Better Ballot Iowa statewide meeting for November. My name is Amy Brown, and I'm from Crescent, Iowa, which is way over on the very far west side of the state. And we're just going to be giving everyone about 5 minutes to join before we get started. Well, what you can expect tonight is to learn about RCV real quickly and a little bit about Better Ballot Iowa. Justin Hollenreich is going to be doing our intro to RCV tonight. Again, welcome everyone. We're so excited that you're here, and I will hand it off to Justin. Justin?
Well, first, I would like to tell you a story in 3 ballots. To start, I would like you to imagine a hypothetical election between candidate A and a literal dumpster fire. So who do you pick? This situation might seem familiar to some of you because this is actually how a lot of people feel about the current political situation. It doesn't matter where on the political spectrum you lie, you probably feel like elections are a choice between someone that you support or maybe just barely tolerate and someone that you would never ever consider. And what's the problem with this? There's not really any choice here. The whole purpose of elections is supposed to be to hold the politicians accountable, but neither of these are really accountable to you. Candidate A knows that you are going to vote for them because they're the only viable option for you. And the dumpster fire isn't accountable to you because they know you're not going to vote for them. And so both ways, neither politician really has an incentive to try to earn your vote. Now, try imagining another hypothetical where candidate A is caught in a really bad scandal doing whatever shady thing you can imagine, but they haven't dropped out of the race. Now, who should you vote for? Now, the problem here is that your vote is captive. You don't really have power here. If you've ever bought a house or a car or bargained for anything, you know there's a lot of strength and leverage in being able to walk away. It forces the salesperson, whoever's trying to get you on board, to try to cater to your needs and desires. In this scenario where there's really only one choice, that's not really the case anymore. It's pretty much a regardless. Your decision is going to be the same pretty much regardless what happens, which doesn't really create accountability. Now, you might be looking in the situation and say, aha, but what if a good candidate did enter the race? And we'll show you that. You will now get to see what happens when we introduce a good candidate under our current electoral system. So, new election, same 2 candidates, but now we are also going to add someone you actually like, really like. And they are running as an independent, and this is now a 3-way race. There are 2 candidates that are acceptable here, and one that you are horrified of. So, who do you pick? The problem here is that there's this thing called vote splitting. It's pretty likely that candidate A, the one that you find to be acceptable, and the one that you really like, the other candidate, share a base of support with each other. And under our current voting system, what this means is that that base of support is going to be split up between the 2. And as a result, it's possible that the dumpster fire, the one you like the least, will actually win as a result of you voting for the candidate you like the most. And that's the fundamental problem here. Adding more better choices made the situation worse. And that's awful. That's not how things should be. And the problem here, like I said, is that you are going to be concerned with throwing away your vote because of how the current electoral system functions. But we can make a slight tweak and significantly improve the system. Enter stage right, ranked choice voting. In ranked choice voting, you get to rank candidates in the order you prefer them as far as you want. So the candidate you really like, you can list as your first. You can list the other acceptable candidates as backups, and you don't even have to rank candidates like this burning dumpster fire that you don't like. So if your first choice gets eliminated, then your vote will then be transferred to your second choice. And then you repeat this process until one of the remaining candidates has a majority of the vote. And so this way, you don't have to be scared anymore about splitting the vote or helping the candidate you really like. You can just vote for who you want without having to be scared of that possibility. And with this small tweak, you create big change. With this, spoiler effect is mostly gone. Majority winners are far more likely. We're able to get results from our elections and our democracy that more accurately reflect the will of the people. And what this means is that we can also have new ideas. We can have new candidates enter the race and have voters support them if they like them and their new ideas without that fear. And this creates a lot more room for potential competition and accountability and more worldviews and perspectives being given some voice in our political system. And that is something that our country at this time very deeply needs. So RCV is not a silver bullet, just like any political reform is not a silver bullet. Things aren't just going to magically be fixed the second this is implemented. But it allows us to improve. It opens the door for us to actually solve some of the deep-seated problems in our political system right now, instead of being stuck in the current gridlock situation where elections tend to be uncompetitive and Americans tend to be very divided against each other. And we're calling on you to help us to open that door, because we would like you to imagine and be able to achieve this situation in this new political America where we are not so divided, where we are able to reach across the partisan divide and make a system that functions better for all Iowans. It is a very exciting possibility, and it's something we would like you to help us achieve. And with that, I would now like to hand it off to Carrie Lane to talk a bit about who we are, Better Ballot Iowa. Carrie?
Thanks, Justin. So, Better Ballot Iowa. Who are we? Well, we just formed in March, and we've already made tremendous progress. Our organization is founded entirely by Iowans and who basically just connected, found each other online. We're a volunteer-driven organization, which brings challenges because, and it's also a key reason why we need to grow our volunteer base. probably most importantly for me personally, is we're a nonpartisan organization. We believe that this is an issue that's going to bring Iowans together across partisan and ideological lines, and we're just getting started. So what are we? Better Ballot Iowa is filed as a 501c3, which makes us an educational nonprofit. We're tax deductible, and that's by construction. What do you see as the biggest obstacle to implementing ranked choice voting? Our perspective with Better Ballot Iowa is that the first step here is educating folks, that we need them to know about ranked choice voting, because once they know about it, they're going to want it. They're not going to be afraid of it anymore, right? Our mission at the current time is just to get that word out to all corners of the state and get everyone excited about it. So how do we do that? How do we build a successful campaign? Most movements attempt lobbying and legal enactment efforts way, way, way too soon. And that ends up just expending a lot of energy and often accomplishes very, very little. So there's going to be massive resistance to change because it's change, especially when it comes to something like ranked choice voting in Iowa. And we can only get this passed through the legislature. So in order to make that happen, we're going to need to leverage a lot of power. So we have a strategy that comes in two phases. The first 2 years or so is going to be about capacity growth. We need to achieve a critical mass of support. And only then can we launch the legal action campaign. So for now, our goal is to make unrelenting progress in 3 growth tracks: people, money, and endorsements. Now, we're still working on defining the terms of what it means to have a successful phase 1, but we can set an order of magnitude. We need to build a base of tens of thousands of supporters, hundreds of endorsements from local and state community leaders throughout Iowa, and tens to hundreds of thousands of dollars. These numbers will give us the power and legitimacy we need. And if we do this stage right, the legal enactment campaign is much more likely to succeed. In just the last 8 months, we've made tremendous progress. We've grown our supporter list to 800 people. We've raised over $8,000, and that's enabled us to invest in valuable organizational software and to support our canvassing efforts. We've canvassed at multiple events around the state. We've built a strong base of leaders and team members, and we've established ourselves legally. This plot on the left shows our current growth, but this is just the beginning. We hope to expand exponentially, and this has occurred in other states, so it's not a pipe dream. And since we are the only ranked choice voting group in Iowa, we have a lot of room to grow. So how you can be a voting reform superhero. So as Justin pointed out, ranked choice voting is a reform that addresses underlying problems that prevent progress on other issues. And that makes this an incredibly important effort to get behind. But it's also exciting because it's fast growing and evolving effort where you can have a huge impact. So, we're volunteer driven, we're still learning, and that we still need a lot of support and all the help we can get. And you can help us make history by becoming a volunteer or even taking on a leadership opportunity. And we know everyone has a lot going on in their lives, but what's nice is that we have a range of ways that you can help us, just from small do-it-your-own activities like making graphics or content, to larger tasks like developing our website. One activity is like canvassing, or regular activities like team memberships. Our tasks also range from outward-facing and to behind the scenes. So if you're new, stick around for the breakouts, and we'll have folks that can help you find out ways that you can help us move this issue forward. Thank you so much for your time.
We will now hear from Genevieve, who leads our live outreach team. Genevieve?
So it takes a lot of work to raise awareness about ranked choice voting. So I want to take a moment to thank one of our volunteers who has really gone above and beyond lately to help us. Unfortunately, I don't think he was able to join us tonight, but David Allen has really been a rock star. So he has canvassed at several events for us, some of them several hours from his home. He traveled just to go canvass. And he helped organize a table to do canvassing at a gun show in Bonaparte. And that was a very productive event for him. He had a lot of good conversations there. And he also helps, very importantly, to edit recordings of meetings like this one and help us get them posted on YouTube. So a big thank you to David. So now I would like to turn it over to Justin Hollenbrake, who's the lead of our live outreach team.
Thank you, Genevieve. So for our upcoming events, we have one planned right now, the Cedar Rapids Gun Show on the 26th at 4 p.m., kind of following up on the Bonaparte Gun Show type of idea. We are starting to wind down a little bit with live outreach since it's getting deeper into the winter and there are less outdoor opportunities. But that being said, we do have a lot of opportunities for you to help us welcome new people, because recently we had a few series of events where we got quite a few signups. So for that, we have regular call parties Monday and Tuesday from 6 to 7 p.m. And as well, if you can't make it during that time, but you would like to make calls on your own time, you can get in contact with us, and those same days, 9 to 8 p.m., you can kind of work as it works for you. If you want to RSVP for any of this, you can at betterballottiowa.org under the calendar tab. And as always, if you have any potential events or ideas that you'd like to send us, feel free to send it to us at volunteers@betterballottiowa.org. And now I would like to hand it over to Brandon.
All right, so my name is Brandon. I'm from Iowa. You can tell because I have a lovely cornfield behind me, so that's obviously an indicator. I run the fundraising side of things, guys, so I get to do the best thing here, which is ask for money. But this is an exciting time because we are kicking off our end-of-year fundraising campaign tonight. The exciting thing about it, as you can see in blue letters, the first $5,500 donations will be matched up to 100%. So we've got some donors that are willing to help out. So we will literally double your money and impact if you make your donation like right now. This is going on until I believe the end of the year. I'll have to double check on that. But tonight, act while you can. So this is going to help significantly with operation costs. Yeah, slides. Anyways, so things like running ads as far as our CRM system, our volunteer managements, things like that, it helps significantly with keeping those costs up to date. And the big thing is we have grown so much since we've started. What is it? The statistic 8 to 800? Yeah, it's ridiculous. In 8 months, we are actually hiring our first paid organizer. So they're going to be consistently growing the events, growing supporters, talking to donors, basically things that are very hard to do as we are all volunteer based. We're all local, we're all volunteers. So our time is very limited compared to somebody that we're going to be paying for. So the money that we raise over the next 6 weeks is going to be enough to support them for almost up to 6 months. We can raise the full amount. The person's going to be putting in about 20 hours a week to advanced ranked choice voting for Iowa. And so it is fantastic, and we're going to need all of your help. So yes, Amy loves doubling her money. So do I. That's why I play the lottery. It never works out. But anyways, you guys, if you know me, know I am a big connoisseur of the finer things, the finer foods in life. And I just came into a large sum of money. I got 2 $25 Taco Bell gift cards. So with that being said, I'm going to go ahead and throw $50 in the pot because now I'm going to save money on Taco Bell. I've got $50 to spare. Can anybody else not have to match 50, throw in money? My goal is to get us to 500 tonight. If we can, we will double that up to $1,000, and that'll get us to a great start for the first 6 weeks. Can anybody else throw it in the chat? Can you throw in $5, $10? Oh, Laura's gonna match my 50. She must love Taco Bell. Blair, 25 right now. Pang is matching 52. Man, those rats paid off. All right. Okay, so the chat's going quicker than I can actually scroll. My mouse is messed up. So somebody else is gonna have to like type in the chat and tell me what's getting donated. That way we can keep track of it. But if we can drop the donation link too, we use Square. It makes it super easy for a one-time donation or a recurring donation. Recurring donations are great if you've got 5, 10, 20 bucks a month that you're not going to miss and you know it's going to go to a great cause. Throw it towards us. If you want to do a one-time donation, that's fantastic as well. Justin, shut up and take my 20 bucks. Meme King. Anyway, so also big thing is I think Giving Tuesday is a thing. I don't know what the exact date is. That is a question that I forgot the answer to earlier today. So it is a thing. Matt said it's a thing. So Giving Tuesday is coming up. On top of that, we are a 501c3. We are a nonprofit, which means your donations towards us are tax deductible, depending on how you file your taxes. Talk to your H&R Block guy about that. I don't know for sure, but for the most part, it is. So what do we got in chat? Can somebody give me the total of what we've got? 220 so far. That's doubled the 440. So fantastic start. Who else do we have? If I throw in another Taco Bell gift card of $25, would somebody else be able to match me? Oh, Blair. A second. Oh. So I throw in 25 and I get matched 70. I'll take it. That's a win. All right, so while you guys are trickling your donations, we'll get the receipts. We'll get everything added up by the phone call. I'm going to pass it over to Amy for the next bit of it, and she can go over anything I missed, or she can just rant and make me stop, one or the other.
Awesome. Thanks, Brandon. And thank you so much, everyone who is donating and having your money doubled. Super exciting. And as Brandon said, we do have the opportunity to hire our first paid organizer who can help really provide that consistency that's hard to do with a volunteer organization. So super exciting. So again, thank you for attending this evening. Thank you to all the donors who are fueling our mission really to educate our fellow Iowans about ranked choice voting. The journey is obviously not possible without financial support and the support of time. And so if you have the opportunity to volunteer, we would welcome that as well. We do meet monthly, always on the third Thursday at 8 p.m. So coming up, we will be meeting on December 16th at 8 p.m. And that's going to be a big meeting for us. We are actually going to do a strategic offsite between now and then and really try to hammer out what that phase one campaign that Carrie talked about looks like in terms of setting goals and things. And we're going to want some feedback and some additional ideas at that meeting. So again, as we close, I really want to thank you for taking time out of your busy schedules to attend. A grassroots movement requires commitment, energy, and the support of so many great citizens. And so please know that we appreciate you. We appreciate your time. And we want to wish you and yours a happy Thanksgiving. See you next month on December 16th. Have a great evening, everyone. Thank you.